Hello, Booktube. I'm here to do a tag. I was not tagged in it, but I kind of like the idea of it. It was created by Aaron at Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book, however you want to put the inflection. It's called the Booktuber Name Tag. So Aaron has taken a number of booktubers' names and created tags around them based on what their channel name signifies to a certain extent. And there are 10 of them. And I'm going to do this. And it's going to be the Simak version of this tag. Very unique, I would say. Now, he starts out with the first prompt, books with the Books I'm Not Reading channel, and a book that's been on your TBR forever. Now, there is a Simak book that I have not read yet, a novel. It's a number of short stories, but there's a novel. It's not an original novel to him. It's called Empire, and it was finally published in 1951 in the Galaxy novel series. Now, this was a novel that was originally written, or a novel, by the teenage John W. Campbell. And Campbell gave it to Simak to rewrite or to fix up. And this would have been done, I think, sometime in the 40s. And Simak rewrote it, basically rewrote it from the ground up. But John W. Campbell refused it. So he did not get published, or was not published by Campbell. So as in time went on, and Galaxy science fiction started, H.L. Gold was starting up his novel sort of series, and he asked Simak if he had anything, and Simak sort of dug around the bottom of a drawer and found Empire and gave it to H.L. Gold. And so it was published in 1951. And Simak is sort of basically, he's always disowned it to a certain extent. He thought it was quite bad, but hey, paycheck's a paycheck, right? And I've not read it. It's got to do with an empire based on a monopoly. Basically, I think an AI, it's sort of AI intelligence or a computer that runs the politics of the society. And then somebody else decides to be an upstart and creates competition. So yeah, so it's something I will be getting around to reading it, but it's not something I've read yet. Number 2, novel iDeea, a book with an interesting premise or plot device. Now that would be Simak's 1961 novel, Time is the Simplest Thing. Basically, the premise is that humans cannot go out to space physically to explore the galaxy. So instead, they go out with their minds telepathically. And that is the sort of premise of what sets up for the story. So, and I'm not going to give too many spoilers or no spoilers, just a brief introduction for the story. Number 3, Revenant Reads, a book where someone has returned from the dead. Now that would be 1951's, well, there's a few, but 1951's Time and Again. This guy, he basically has been dead, and it's actually even one of the titles of it is First He Died. And it's basically somebody who is being hunted because he writes a book that in the future society finds that it's detrimental and it's bad. So he's a hunted man. That's all I'll say about it. I'll probably be reading that in July. So as an addition, I'm adding a lot of Simak to my reading. Number 4, CriminOlly, a book where crime takes place. Now, this is also could fit for number 3 as well. I originally had it there, and then I changed it. It's 1968's Goblin Reservation, where the character returns to Earth and finds out he was murdered a week before. Yeah, that's where I'll end it. Number 5, Book Time with Elvis. A book about time travel, or something, someone named Elvis. Well, I don't have something named Elvis. I don't think there's Elvis crops up in any of Simak's stories. So I'll use. There are a number of these. There are a number of ones that can be used. But I'll use Macedonia. 1978. It was based on an earlier short story called Project Mastodon. And it's set again in his beloved Wisconsin. And there's time travel, an agency that starts up time travel to go back to sort of the time of the dinosaurs. Again, that's all I'll say about that. And middle of the book March. Your favorite book that you read in March, and that was City. Oh, wait a minute. Was it March? Yes, it was. Sorry, yes. Because we're a bit behind in doing the lives for the Simak books. Yeah. So City, 1952, is fix-up novel. Number 7, Book Buds, a book with a great friendship. Now here I'm twisting the rules a little bit because this is a novelette, and it has been classed a novelette, and it's classed as his first novelette, and it's called The Creator, and it was first published in Marvel Science Fiction in 1935, and it's got to do with two friends that are inventors, and they invent a machine and they meet their maker. And it was originally published in book form in 1946 in a small little booklet, and then again in 1981, I think, by Locus. They put out a hardcover, very limited hardcover edition, and a paperback stapled edition. Number 8, Obscure Book Adventures, a book that you love that never gets talked about. Well, I remember loving this, and I'll have to read it again to be sure, but it's one that always has stuck in my mind of Simak's. It's 1982's Special Deliverance. And it's a group of people that sort of get transported to a planet somewhere, and there's a cube, a large cube there, and they've got a bit of a journey and work together to try to find out what's going on. And it's something that's always stuck in my mind, this book, so I definitely have to read it again, and it is, I believe, on the schedule for the rest of the year. Number 9, Savage Reads, a book with a monster or beast or human acting monstrous or beastly. Now here is another time travel one, which I could have used, which I originally had for the previous one, but it's Our Children's Children, published 1974. And it's time travel because humanity is escaping a future that is being invaded by monsters. Yes. And number 10, a book that fits your own channel name or the name of a channel that you love. Well, I'm sure there could be a channel that probably has a Simak title in it, but I don't watch it and I'm not aware of it. I could search for one, but it's not something that I love, obviously, or watch. So that leaves me with my own name. Well, I can't think when, and I went through all the channels that I watch, and I can't see anything that's specifically there. So I'll use my own name, Standfast. And like I say, I'm stretching it a little bit, and no, I'm not using Mr. Standfast by John Bunkin. I'm using Waystation, 1963 by Clifford Simak, because Enoch Wallace basically stands fast. He does that term, and he doesn't back down. He he gets what he wants, and he doesn't back down. Yeah, a little stretching maybe, but well, tough. This is the Simak version of the Booktube name tag. I'm not, as usual, I'm not tagging anybody in this, but if you find this interesting, what I will do is I'll try to put, this is something that's been happening on videos that I put up, not the lives, but the videos that I put up. The description material disappears, and I put it in again, and it disappears. So I'll try to put this information in, but just as if it doesn't show up, it's because it's disappearing. Thank you, Booktube.